welcome to our tutorial about using Canvas, part of our Digital Badge Professional Development Academy class, as you can see. And we want to talk about Canvas in this one, which is called a Learning Management System, an LMS for those in the know. And the question is, what is that? Why do I need to use it? And we'll talk about that, and then we'll also talk about how to register, and then how to get started in making a class with a couple little pointers that I wanted to show you about right away. So, what is a learning management system? Well, it's a system that allows you to assign work to students, allows you to grade that work, it allows you to have online discussions, it allows you to create the materials you need for an online class or a, in-person class with extra materials online. That sounds a lot like something that you've probably used before, which is, of course, Google Classroom. If you haven't used Google Classroom before, that's okay too. But if you have, you might be wondering why not do this. So if you go back to when Google Classroom first came out, it really was just a way to assign work to students so that when they hand in their Google Docs that everybody's using these days, they didn't have to hit share with the teacher over and over again and you get 50 emails about that. Now we can do it all through this one interface. And then as that classroom developed and teachers really liked it, it's become more and more popular. They've been adding more and more features. So now you can grade things online. You can have online discussions. And it seems like they're constantly adding better ways and more features that are making it more like a full-fledged learning management system. But it still doesn't do everything that we want it to be able to do. And for digital badges, there are two key things that Google Classroom can't do that I can do in Canvas. One of those is assigning badges itself. When somebody hands in work on Google Classroom, I can't tell it, now give them this reward or, this badge picture that goes along with the work that they've done. And so I need a way to be able to do that. I could do it manually, which is once I grade it and I see that they've done their work, I could somehow manually give them a badge. That's not exactly digital, and I want a computer to do that kind of work for me because that would be a lot of upkeep for me. Canvas can do that, although it itself can't do that. It actually allows plugins because it's a little bit more full-featured, and so other people have come up with ways for it to automatically integrate with badges, and so that's what we're going to be doing. It also Google Classroom cannot do online quizzes right now, online assessments, and Canvas can do that. In digital badges, that's a really important thing because I want to be able to give the students multiple assessments so that they can take them over and over again. And if they don't show mastery, they can retake the assessment and try again, but I don't want it to be the same assessment every single time. So either I have to manually create a whole lot of different quizzes to give them one after another, or I have Canvas has the ability to make question banks and it pulls from those, and so it can randomly generate the questions that the students are going to get, which test the same skills. And that way I can take advantage of, again, the computer doing some of the work for me that seems like too much for me to be able to do. So let's go ahead and find Canvas. And that is not as easy as it should be. When I Google Canvas, you can see right away that Canvas is used in different universities, especially it seems like around here, or maybe it just knows where I am and it thinks that I might want to use one of these. And so it is a paid learning management system that Eastern Christian might have to someday pay a bunch of money to get it to be used. But there's also one that allows you to just create single-use classes. So there's free for teachers. The problem is, if I told you to search for free for teachers, is that this is actually a different website than what I want it to be. It comes to this website that's all red and stuff like this. I think we could use this one, but I've had students, when they go to here, have some trouble. And so I want to show you the other way to find it. And that is, we're just going to Google search Canvas itself. You might think that the top results would be about art and about buying canvases for painting, but they're actually about this program. This one is not quite right. It's this one. So we're looking for canvasinstructure.com. And yes, I could have just shown you the URL, but I wanted to show you how to find it, especially because your students are going to have to look for it. We want this one that's kind of bluish, grayish, and it says Canvas free for teacher on the top. This is the same spot that students are going to come to and log in when they want to use your classroom. So this is the one I wanted to make sure that you knew how to get to. You could, of course, write this down and find it. This Instructure, that's the company that creates Canvas. So we need a Canvas account, so we're going to click here. It's free. And then once we click teacher, well, actually, let me just quick show you. Student, well, you'll actually will have seen this when you go and join my class. So I guess if you are in my class, you've already known how to do all this, but I wanted to officially record it. Notice the join code. That's what we're going to do today, is show you how to create that, and then some other stuff. But if you're a teacher, it's going to take you back to this Try Canvas, more of the modern. I think this is their new look. And I'm going to get a free Canvas account. So you're going to have to fill this in. I've already, of course, registered mine, but if I was to start typing it, a few things I wanted to point out is that as I go through and start filling this thing out, their phone number, you are required to give all of these things, so you have to give a phone number. Please give the school's phone number. When I put in my phone number, I have had them contact me directly to see if they could help me with anything, which is great. And actually, they were really helpful in getting me started in Canvas. But they also, of course, want to do that so that they can sell you the paid Canvas for the entire system and not just the free one for teachers. So I guess if they do ever contact you, just say I'm happy using the free one. I want to teach my course on Canvas. Maybe I chose this one and that's why they started contacting me. And this is the part where I talked about they may very well contact you. You have to click this. You don't have a choice. So I would like to receive marketing communications from Instructure. Sorry. Hopefully we can get out of it later. But to use this, we have to actually say, yes, we want that. So we're going to go ahead and say next. And from that point, that's where you're going to have to yourself log in. Hit next. It's going to create a password. It's going to send you a confirmation email. So you should go ahead and go to your email and click on confirm so that you can actually use Canvas. The reason for that is because there's a couple features that I want to show you how to do that you can't do unless your email's been confirmed. It will block you from doing them. And so if you could do that real quick while I am going over here to log in. I suddenly had a fear that I have forgotten my password. Okay, good. So for me, of course, I already have some classes. I already have some things to do. You won't see any of those things. In fact, when you first go in, it's going to go into a class it created for you. Because it's like a kind of a tour class, like your guided course template. So this is where you're going to come in. And you're going to see some things about that. Personally, I would just ignore all this and just go ahead and create a new class. So I'm going to go back to my dashboard. I hope that's where I do it. I'm going to go ahead and go to classes or courses. There we go. And I want to create a new course. So you could go ahead and just create a test course for now. Even the word course, you can tell that this is kind of created for university level instead of for high school or elementary school, right? But so a few things will come up when you first create your class, and we're going to go through the important pieces of this. But just to take a quick look around, first of all, you'll notice your course is unpublished. I have created an entire class and gotten to get my students to sign up for it, only to realize I never actually published the class. It doesn't hurt to publish it early, even if there's nothing on it. So you can feel free to do that. I'm not going to for right now, but to us, it doesn't look any different. So you can publish it, not publish it right now. This idea of modules that you'll see right away, that's basically Canvas is word for units, is how I think about it, or I actually think about it as badges. Every time I create a new module, I'm creating a new group of assignments I want somebody to do to earn a badge. Um, the home page is going to be something that you can set yourself to different things. For instance, if you made a syllabus page, or maybe just it's more could be like an about the class kind of page, you can set that later on. We'll go through that, how to set that to be the home page. By default, all when you create modules, your big list of modules, all the different things to do is going to be the home page. And what I like to do is actually create my own page. So those are some of the big things we're going to use. Assignments is big. Up to you whether discussions are. Students will, when they click grades, will see their grades. When you click it, you'll get a grade book. People will show you who's in the class. There's some interesting things you can do there that I wasn't planning on covering, but maybe we'll get to that later. And of course, quizzes, that's where you can create these online quizzes that I talked about. The first thing I want to do, though, is have you go down to settings. And that is because one of the questions you might ask yourself is, how do I get students to join my class? For some reason, Mountain Time is the default time. So if that bothers you, you can change it. I don't know if that has much to do with anything. You can also have a nice image. I don't typically do that. But here at the very, very bottom of all of this stuff, which you can go through and read some things, but I have not changed many of these over the course of my use. More options. The only way that you can get students to join the class that I've discovered so far, I think you can go to people and actually, and this might be something that if you're in the middle school or elementary school you might want to do, is that you can actually add people to the class, which is like you put in their emails and then it will send them a thing to click on. So that's one way to do it. You could set all that up ahead of time. If you want them to kind of be like a Google Classroom where they put in the code themselves, that's got to be all the way down here. So more options. Let students self-enroll by sharing with them a secret URL or code. And then you can also say add a join this course link to the top, although I just use the code. I never actually have them find the page and then hit join this course. I get the code and I show that to them. So I find it kind of crazy because the only way to do that is to show this, and I have to look it up on Google every time I make a new class. Oh, wait, how do I get students to join? So hopefully that will remind you of things. There's some interesting things here about whether you want students to be able to do certain things in the class and whether you want only teachers to be able to do it. So I'm going to update my course details. And now at the bottom with the more options, it tells me here's how to enroll in the class. They can type this in. So you could send them an email with that if you want, or they can go to the registration page that I showed you earlier and they say I'm a student, and then they can put in that code there. Let's just do that one more time. I search for Canvas. I choose this. No, see, it depends. This time I'm choosing the top one, Instructure.com. I don't want to go to Montclair. And oh yes, I'm logged in, so of course it would go directly to me. This is the page that we want. Students are going to click the sign up button, and I'm a student, and then there's the join code for the class. So as they register this piece of it, it'll let them join as a class. They still also have to confirm their email addresses, by the way, so that will be another step for them. But that is the way I found to get students into it. Maybe you're going to say, you know what, it's easier for me to set them up using the people options up here, and maybe that will do a little bit more automatic. But at the high school level, they can handle getting into it. It doesn't take too long. I've had pretty good success. So that's the basics of Canvas, and we're going to go into more detail onto some of the important parts in the other videos that follow.